I'm excited. This should be a pretty fun one. We've been seeing a lot of Spirit, but our first time watching Xtreme, and they need to bounce back from a little bit of a rough start yesterday. So we are going to hop into game number 1 here as both teams smoked out, heading out onto the map. Yatoro will place most likely a mid ward. And we're paused. A little bit of a chat issue.
See, Tiny and Tusk have some win laces. Could mean we might see some early movements. Maposhka, maybe not as much. Since you're position 5 on that Tusk, you do have a little bit more responsibility to help out Morphling. Though I will say Morphling, in the right matchups, he's one of those carries you can leave alone pretty quickly. Like I'd say, like even as early as level 3 if he's having a good start in a good matchup, which I think if you just place a ward to spot where Tiny is, like that's the danger. The avalanche setting up for them to stomp, chain stun to kill the Morphling. So like cut these trees, set up a ward, something like that. Get Morphling a couple levels. You might be able to start moving around pretty quickly.
Well, they're going to try and get started on Ame here. Unfortunately, you've gone shards 1, so not a ton of damage that you can throw into this. So he'll just walk away with his team behind him. But it is going to be a Maposhka on the Tusk. So something that we talked about earlier was, dodging out the potential bad lane matchups. Looks like that's what they're, doing as well. They do not want to play the Tusk into that Phoenix.
Thinking about it, I kind of like that Laurel took the Wind Ranger in the mid lane because that means Focus Fire comes out faster, and Focus Fire with Tag Team is so much damage in the early game. And I mean, Tag Team's low cooldown, you can use it whenever. It's how quickly do you have Focus Fire. So the fact that he'll have it maybe a minute 2 more than like a carry Wind Ranger would have it, maybe that's an extra kill or 2 just by being next to the Tusk.
Poshka needs to be a little bit careful here. He is walking, or maybe unknowingly walking into 3s. And Q does have the tree toss though, so he's just gonna right click him down, do a little bit of damage. Phoenix unable to connect, so he's gonna TP back bottom without wasting too much time. Mid lane matchup of Wind Ranger and Razor. Have we seen this one ourselves? I don't think so, right? It's mostly been Lesh versus Razor when this hero ends up in the mid lane.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing Wind Ranger versus Razor in one of our casts, but I think it is something that has happened just because Razor... Ooh, another pause to talk about it. Razor just dominates certain matchups, right? So it kind of takes away a huge pool of heroes you can play into the mid lane, and you end up with a lot of ranged heroes as a response. I think Laurel should be fine here. Universal damage, so a lot of damage potential to harass, and then with the wind run, should never really be linked for that long. I think the later this game goes, Spirit will feel more and more comfortable. You're going to have late game Morphling, late game Brewmaster, Wind Ranger. Like, these heroes are such a menace as you get to those late levels, maxed out items. Xtreme Gaming should have an easier time in the early game. Like, Lifestealer is a hero you can leave alone. It lets you get active around your other cores. He eventually joins back in. Maybe a Radiance. I don't know if that's what he's going to go for this game, but it is probably the most common build we see. Phase, Armlet, Orb Corrosion, which actually might be pretty cool versus Morphling into that Radiance. And they'd be pretty strong around that time. What else we got going on? Mid's pretty even. Actually, all the lanes are even, except Brewmaster. Brewmaster's maybe struggling the most right now. But I don't think that's too bad, considering the life stealer. Oh, Mira maybe in a little bit of trouble here. Slowed down a lot. Has the cookie though, so should be safe. Does mean you're gonna lose the Lotus. Top side, who got that? I think that was Xingqiu. Oh no, Tusk did get it. Paid a lot of health for it. Break even maybe once he eats that Lotus. Lotuses, guys, if you're not prioritizing the Lotuses, definitely do it. It's practically worth a creep wave for how much regen you get from it. It's about 120-ish gold if you were to try to equate it to mangoes and fairy fires. So practically a creep wave there, which many of you in pubs are just forgetting about. Get your free money. Little trading up here. Tusk and Tiny just poking each other. They're too tanky though. They'll never. Oh! Missing the courier. That would have been a good courier snipe. Gloves of haste. If you guys didn't know, you can throw the tree, snipe some couriers, but I don't believe you can actually target the courier. So you kind of have to throw it where you think it's going to go. Most players aren't paying attention to their courier, so it usually just goes in a line. But Yatoro, believe it or not, excellent player. Moved his courier in time. High level gameplay right there.
I steal from the slow.
Tusk watching that mid lane. Now, Ice Shards is really good versus Razor. Razor is a very fast hero. Just depends on walking away from most ganks. But with an actual physical block, can't do anything. Ame in a little bit of trouble here. Does not have rage, but I don't think they actually have the damage to kill him. Maybe extend it a little too far. Now with the Phoenix here, kind of ends the aggression. The Fire Spirits attack slow. Too much. 90 attack slow.
All right, my apologies. My entire setup just froze, so I'm back at least. Thank you for filling for the last few minutes while I, behind the scenes, try not to light my computer on fire.
Oh, just in time for Tusk,
Just
maybe
in
going
time
down.
for
Pops the
first blood.
Lotus.
Okay, first blood for Xingqiu. That's great for them.
That was really nice of them to wait for you.
Ah, very, very nice. I actually, I was, you know, well, we'll come back to it. Collapse dying in the bottom lane. All right, so they get 2 kills across the map, actually. Nice little rotation from XM on the Razor. We don't really see a Phoenix get, or a Razor get active super early. Top lane, XXS in a really rough spot here. Tag team by, like, will expire, and they actually will not be able to finish off the kill. The stomp lasts a little bit too long. Did that catch the Morphling as well on that stomp?
I missed it. I was looking at our ganking Razor.
Right.
I might have a ganking Wind Ranger now. She's coming top. She's got Focus Fire, Invis Rune. We talked about this tag team combo. We might get to see it here. She's killing someone.
Right? I feel like it. Yeah, there's going to be your Focus Fire tag team as well. Great dodge on the Avalanche there from Laurel as they're going to continue the chase here onto Xingqiu. Block him from going into those trees, but dive in the tower. A little bit too much, so they'll just back away, take the kill out of the Centaur, and walk back to the mid lane. So both mid laners getting fairly active early on. They're going to be very even in CS, honestly. Like, this game right now, pretty even across the CS boards. Tusk, I guess, maybe a little bit surprising as a support, having as much as he does in that lane, but yeah, no one's really kind of getting pushed out of the lane too much.
Yeah, I think Tusk's is mostly small camp CS, so not as meaningful as it might look, but still nice for him. Still some money. Nothing crazy with the 7-minute runes. Focus Fire's coming up in 15 seconds, so I feel like he could just come back top, or Tusk could make his way mid.
Now that on the damage, Yatoro gets the morph off. It's one of those changes like to Avalanche, right? Where after the first initial stun, you're allowed to, you know, activate, whereas previously it was a chain stun, right? So much better for the Morphling. Gets the Morph off, he'll live.
Yeah, I think we're at the point Tusk does not need to be next to the Morphling anymore. I think this is the point where both sides just farm. He has a Morbid Mask. He's level 5. I think both heroes, both supports should just leave and just go play elsewhere, which looks like for the 8-minute rune.
Well, instant D-ward. Yep. I mean, we brought a lot of supports to the mid lane. Bottom lane, DY will just deny the illusion. Mira won't scout it out, but we'll at least see that the rune's gone now, so... Really well played there from the Phoenix. Collapse is definitely struggling a little bit here against the Lifestealer, and it makes sense, right? Lifestealer picked specifically into this matchup, goes for an early Orb of Corrosion, phase boots. He can't get pushed out of the lane at this point. So it's similar to the Morphling, right? You're like, okay, well, my hero can't be pushed out of lane, so we're just going to leave you in a 1v1 for the most part. And I would like the Phoenix to maybe greed out a little bit, get some stacks. Play aggressive. Well, speaking of aggressive, nice snowball into the Ice Shard. Stampede comes through. Focus fire. Is it going to connect? Not enough. And right into the hands of XM. The Avalanche toss back. Zinq sets up a great kill for XXS.
That was one more attack away from dying. Thanks to that Stampede, Windrun kept up with him, but Tusk could not, which means there was no tag team for that bonus damage. And fast response from the other heroes in the area gets them a Wind Ranger kill and protects the stacks, because that would have been pretty sad. If they get that Centaur kill, that would also steal the stacks that they had made to help the Centaur. No focus fire.
Yeah, no focus fire, but XM should be playing. I mean, he has stolen so much damage. It's like the full duration snowball is funny because he's just gonna continue to steal damage. It's like you're not hitting him, but he's gonna be even scarier when you come out.
Yeah, looks like he stole 100 damage there. Ame did come here, so maybe Collapse can pressure this bottom tower. Although there is a Phoenix. Phoenix is a really good wave clear with the Fire Spirits.
Yeah. Collapse is just mode farm, right? Like, he just wants to get to the Radiance. He goes a single Bracer into an Urn rather than going for, like, the double Bracer Radiance build, which we've seen a ton. I think part of this is because he wants a way to reliably trigger the Cinderbrew himself without needing his Snapfire, and he's gone for the max passive, right? The Drunken Brawler. No points in the Earth Shock, or whatever it's called. Shock, I don't know. It's one of those abilities.
Thunderclap.
Thunderclap.
Yeah, it's cool because Drunken Brawler gives so much evasion, and then even more when you're Cinderbrewed up. And then he chooses to go Talisman of Evasion first. Many people will go straight for Sacred Relic because it gives you damage, helps you farm faster. But the Talisman obviously gives you evasion, which gives you survivability. And a hero like Lifestealer literally only attacks. So if he's missing over half his attacks, now we have a bottom lane where no one really wants to come here. You can't pressure the Lifestealer can't pressure the Brewmaster. It's just a farm off in the bottom lane. And it feels like it's a farm off top lane. And that means we see constant 6v or 3v3 fights in the mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, we said that this was going to happen, right? Whenever you pick the Morphling into the Centaur, your Morphling has a great lane, but your Centaur also ends up having a great lane. I'm a little bit surprised he's gone for 4-point Stomp, no points in the Retaliate, because we see a lot of people max out the Retaliate and use this as like your farming buff, right? They just jungle, essentially get an early Blade Mail and farm with max Retaliate, or at least like 2 to 3 points in Retaliate. This makes me feel like he wants to fight, but I don't know who he's fighting with, like unless you have like a really early Blink Dagger from the Tiny. And I mean, looking at Zinq's net worth, maybe. Oh, he just bought phase boots, so never mind. He's not even gonna be close now.
I think maybe if you're having a rough time, the Retaliate build will help you farm. I think if you know you're going to have space, which seeing the Morphling, you kind of know you're just going to be up here farming with the Morphling. I think this max QW build also helps you farm, but actually gives you the potential for aggression if Morphling ever slips up, if you get a gank off. So maybe that's why he opted for this build. He is going to get a Blade Mail. He is going to go get those points and Retaliate, and he will still eventually reach that point where like focus fire is gonna get Wind Ranger killed first. Which I guess if Wind Ranger's not in your lane, you're not worried about later.
That's a solo kill.
Solo kill,
dude. Jinkyu is like he has no vision. He's just strolling through the jungle like, like maybe I'll find somebody, but Yutaro just at too low of HP. Normally we see Tiny mid as like a typical response to Morphlings in previous patches because of how fast you can burst down a Morphling with like a Blink Dagger. You don't really expect to just walk up to him and get the kill. That is very well played there from the Tiny.
Get a replay. So he just came around the tree, which must have blocked enough vision that Morphling didn't see it. And so he was mode efficiency, high agility. Otherwise, I didn't think that would happen. I didn't realize that angle was like just perfect. It looked like Morphling should see him, but a fantastic pickup for his InQ. He's already halfway to his Blink Dagger with that. Where are we on these other items? Brewmaster's about 1,500 gold from his Radiance.
Ame did go for the Armlet into Radiance. So I was curious if he was going to rush a Radiance himself or go for the Armlet build. Some people do. Like they'll just skip Armlet altogether. In a lane like this where you know you're going to be free farming, I actually kind of like the idea of just rushing the Radiance and getting it online as fast as possible. But Armlet, definitely a safer pickup earlier. Big stacks cleared here from the side of Xtreme. So getting a lot more gold into the hands of the Centaur, which, you know, not surprising. He's having a good game. Very even Xtreme with just a slight gold advantage. The solo kill for the Tiny kind of makes a big difference there, right?
Yeah, and he's committed to that. He realized that off that kill, he's like got a good chunk of gold. We see him do a little bit of farming. I'd be okay if they just gave him some space, get that blink up, so that you can start making plays. He's gonna beat the Centaur to it at this rate.
Dude, he actually might.
Yeah, Razor does not actually really initiate, right? You need someone to help you out, and a blink avalanche toss into the Razor, blink. All right, that's pretty good. Bottom lane going aggressive on Ame.
Yeah, they got him. Ooh, Arma toggled the shackle. No, he was looking for the infest target into DY. The egg's gonna come out. Mira walks up with the little shredder. Great avalanche. They're gonna try and finish off in time, and they can. Jinkyu now on the run, cooking forward. Brings Yutaro into reach. A blood grenade out for good measure, but they've got him. 3 kills going the way of Spirit here to finally get a little bit more momentum going their way, and they didn't commit the split either, so they've got plenty of team fight still left in the tank. What a shackle.
Yeah, if he gets that infest off, he definitely lives, and then maybe you feel comfortable fighting over this tower. But pops the rage. This is why Tusk is good versus Lifestealer. You got that BKB piercing punch, and if that infest goes in, that Phoenix is tanky enough to survive. All the heroes were coming in, right? So they would have been ready to fight around this. You pop egg, Lifestealer pops out, start attacking. So great shackle to get them the kills, and now this bottom tower. They got some control down here. Ooh, a nice aggressive ward placed in front of the enemy tier 2, so they can keep an eye on down here.
I like this. So we see the Radiance come out mid lane for the Brewmaster. He is missing, and missing. When you're brewed up with Radiance, 4 points in the Storm Panda. If you guys are unaware of the amount of evasion it is, it's about 95%. So you aren't going to hit this guy. It's not even going to be close. So unless you have some form of true strike on your heroes, when he's brewed up with that Radiance and in Storm stance, you will not hit him. It's very funny. At least I think it's funny. Some people may think that that's, you know, OS Frog material, but I think it's hilarious.
The non-Brewmaster players don't think it's funny.
I don't even play this hero. I just think it's funny. Like watching a carry walk up and just hit him. I think we watched a Troll Warlord pop a Battle Trance, and all he did was just press Cinder Brew and stood there and tanked the entire thing. He missed 100% of his auto attacks.
Oh,
It was
DY
very
just
funny.
misses this observer bottom. They lost an observer down here, so he's like, oh, they must have had vision if they saw us place that. Yeah, they did, but unfortunately, the sentry just a little bit off.
All right, so we're gonna see a smoke out from DY here. Tag team with some more of his teammates to pop that over. Who are they looking for? Tusk, not really the kill that they want. Here in the mid lane from Aposhka, they might just try and, well, looks like they are just gonna go for it, settle for anything. The avalanche, the toss, the damage is there. Here's gonna be the response though. XXS still has that ultimate available. They go ahead and just instantly pop the egg. Mira's walking in with a little shredder. They get it, no problem. There's gonna be the stampede to get them out, but a 1-for-1 trade, you get the egg. You do force the entirety of Spirit to the mid lane while Almay's farming, but I still think kind of worth it if you're Spirit. That is no stampede now.
Yeah, I think 1-for-1. Plus, I do think Spirit going into the late game feels pretty good. So
Yeah.
even if you're not like destroying the enemy right now, taking all the towers, if you're not losing towers, you're not losing big fights, I think they feel fine.
Totally. I 100% agree. It's the Morphling matchup into both cores is really good, and Wind Ranger's matchup into these heroes is relatively good. Obviously, once Razor has his shard, it becomes a little bit more difficult, but for now, I think Spirit feel fairly comfortable with the pace of the game. Collapse has, you know, more than recovered. He's dead even with the Centaur. He's got really good timing on his Radiance, and he's continuing to kind of push his net worth up a little bit. Laurel chasing after Jin Q here, going for the TP on out. I don't think they're going to scout it. Yeah, nice movement from him.
Well, we got a moment here. I want to highlight something DY's doing, which he's the only player I've seen do this. He has Tranquils. He's going to go straight Nullifier. Absolute baller build. He does this on Phoenix, but I've seen him do it on other supports as well. And I'm not fully sure how good it is, guys. I wouldn't recommend you do this in pubs. I think it will only work at like a pro coordinated level. But on the heroes he does it, it's kind of a statement saying, I do everything I need to. I don't need more items to help me. Like, I don't need the Force Staff to save people or myself, the utility, like the Glimmer, stuff like that. It's like, yeah, I'm just going to dispel the enemy, or purge, technically, right? I'm going to purge the enemy of their buffs with the Nullifier. And it's pretty good versus Wind Ranger.
XM's got a BKB and a shield rune. They get the Brewmaster immediately. Great stomp from XXS off that Blink Dagger, and now they've got to get out of here. Spirit pushed back. Laurel forced to pop the Wind Run. As Zinq looking for an opening, but great cancel with the power shot there. Avalanche toss back. They've caught the morph. There's going to be egg right on top of them. XM still close by, but they cannot finish the job.
That was a great fight for them. They're going to get the mid tower. That tiny blink coming into play now. Full force, just finding fights. Getting that Brewmaster killed before the split can come out. Then finding a follow-up. Toss back. Giving them the space to then finish up these towers.
They have like triple Blink Dagger now, don't they? Maposhka. Yeah, okay. You can just do that. That works. Just TP lol. 2 blinks. Okay. BKB available for Laurel. He just needs to buy it. He needs to make sure to do that before he dies. He does. He's probably going to go down here. The ult should burn him through with the Razor. He did buy out the BKB, so doesn't end up losing too much gold, but a very nice amount of gold bounty going the way of XM. He's going to be very happy as Yutoro just farming up some ancients. He's on his way to the Conda eventually, so that's one of those items that seemingly was like really bad, but very good on a couple of heroes, and Morphling was one of them. And then they buffed the specific aspect of it, which, you know, made it even better for him.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
I'm trying to see where XG wants to go from here. Roche is now possible for both teams. Might be slightly slow, but both teams could do it given the opening.
Radiant are scanning.
Maybe they're waiting for this Phoenix nullifier timing.
That could be it. That could be it. Yeah. Dude, I actually can't believe he just rushes nullifier on this. I'm trying to think like what the main reason behind it is, because obviously there's Wind Ranger, but outside of Wind Ranger,
I mean, it's a counter to a lot of Force Staff, Glimmer,
items.
Solar Crest, all of those items that buff you up. Looks like both teams are thinking about Roche. Can hold that nullifier discussion for a little bit.
Right. Ooh, Maposhka pops the smoke. He gets the blink out. Very nicely done. And now XXS, he's the one that's in a rough spot. Shackle connects the cookie to get them out. Jinq and then Avatar sends him right back. Collapse still has that ult ready to go as XM's going to begin the charge in. Decides, okay, maybe not. A bunch of spells thrown. No team wanting to commit.
This is Eye of the Storm going, though.
Yeah,
follow-up
it kind of
smoke?
favors. Well, if they can go back in, they get on top of a great target. It's going to be Yotter on the morph. He gets the push away. There's the split finally coming through from Collapse, but those Pandas, they're dying fast. Maposhka just burning as well. Jinq's going to trade his life as well. So the egg goes down. Laurel just burns through the Razor. They'll be able to grab the egg as well. Maposhka, or I'm sorry, Mira cleaning that one up quite easily. XXS coming down there from the Cyclone as Tusk is back, ready to go. Pops the tag team, trying to stay on top of Ame, and Laurel just gonna be able to kite this out as well. It's just, I feel like they have to continue, but maybe not. They'll just let him walk away. They're afraid to keep chasing. Got it.
Maybe they don't feel pressured to, because it's already good right now. It was like even buyback, support for support. The Eye of the Storm being popped by Xtreme Gaming, I think they felt pressured to make a play, so they pop a smoke in the back, which is pretty sneaky. Like, it might have caught Spirit off guard, but they have to push into an area they don't have the best vision. You find the Morphling, he's already going on strength. You find the Brewmaster, but you can't chain stun him, so he splits, right? So your initial start is not that great, and it frees up the backline heroes from Spirit to just like pick the best targets and go from there. Egg, like, this is why Snapfire is so good versus Phoenix. Right? I don't think we've seen an egg finish once yet.
No, not even
Every
close.
time it is being killed off.
It's just that one value point little shredder too, right? Like,
yeah, it's just one
eventually
point.
you can get the little shredder talent as well if you want the extra attacks. So, I mean, we'll see if he goes that route. I think a lot of people on the support role will prefer the cookie cooldown, but if there was ever a game where from a support position you would pick it, this is kind of it. XXS here on the bottom lane does have that blink, doesn't manage to dodge it. Eudora with the great stomp. There's gonna be the cookie to follow. He's got a stampede. He's gonna be forced to pop it. The chase though, is it there? Mortimer kisses, not even needed. Just slowed down enough from the power shot. That was very nicely done. As Collapse hunting on the other side of the map. He has that split coming. Maybe looking to try and force a BKB out of XM, but he's also very fast.
That's true. Two super fast heroes just running away from each other.
Dire's top tower.
That was the first brew split we had seen in the game, right? In that bottom engagement. We hadn't really seen one previously.
It feels wrong. I'm trying to remember it though, but I actually can't quite remember. I don't have a good short-term memory though. It's like a goldfish. So maybe.
Yeah, I feel like I haven't seen Collapse being forced to use it. There was the one fight in the mid lane where they got the kill before he could do anything, but I mean, we see how much of like impact a Brewmaster can have, especially once he gets the health talent for these things. Because yeah, fighting into the Razor Lifestealer, they can just try and focus down those clones, but as soon as he hits level 20 and grabs that 1200 Brewling health, it's going to be a lot more difficult to take the fights. See the Roshan fall here. Should not be any contest coming out from Xtreme. They do scan it now, so they know. But Tora will grab the Aegis. Konda is completed on his way to a BKB as well, so wants to get himself a little bit more of a survivability item before progressing into a Daedalus, it seems.
Yeah, very even net worth game, but I do think Spirit feels not that it's a guaranteed win or anything, but I do think Xtreme Gaming is the one that feels more pressure to find things, and the fact that they just lost the first Roshan, it's kind of hard to fight into it.
Oh my god. Oh, all right. That's a really nice way to start the fight. The stun onto Yadaro, but a nice cookie into a rage, though. So, yeah, that's one of the benefits of this Morphling into that Lifestealer matchup. And now Laurel, just kind of baiting out a little bit. They get the tower, they get the Stampede, and they back away. Only really costs them the Morph.
I think Xingqiu blinked in and got stunned by Cookie, unfortunately. Otherwise, maybe they get something out of that. It is still a really hard kill, though.
Does Yadaro have his shard? The being able to morph during...
yes.
He does? Okay, yeah. Because I was like, I didn't think he got the morph off in time, but he still definitely was morphing strength during the stun, so... that would make sense. A lot more difficult to kill this guy without some form of a silence, which I don't think anyone's going to itemize to at all on the side of Xtreme. Bottom lane, we're going to see them go in. Great stomp from XXS, trying to bring down this Tusk, but a great cookie away. The shards to try and zone off the rest of the team. They're chasing for more. Yadaro with his own rage, turning around onto Ame. Two Lifestealers enter the arena. They both leave at the same time. That's good stuff.
You ever see two carries hit each other for 4 seconds and nothing happens? I don't think the health even moved.
You want to see me do it again? That was quite good. Collapse walking in, able to get on top of XXS, and Yadaro will force that Ogre Steel Totem to the low ground. They are split. They see the Razor mid, so this is giving Collapse potentially a little bit of time to maybe play aggressive here on the front side. Of course, still has that Primal Split available. The Brood Up being dispellable actually makes a huge difference now that I'm looking at the Nullifier. That makes a lot more sense now into the Brewmaster.
Even with it, still couldn't kill him.
Nullifier out. That's a good kill. Finally, they get an opening, and then, yeah, they get the Wind Ranger. It costs you your tier 2 tower, but I think better than getting nothing.
I like... So first, great kill on the Wind Ranger, right? You take that. But right before that, we saw the Brewmaster get gone on, and they can't kill him. And I like the way that Collapse is playing this with this high evasion, just playing like fairly aggressive and not using Brew Split too early, because they don't have the chain stun to kill Brewmaster before he splits. As long as he has split, he can live. So he can move really aggressively, and if it ever gets close, through all his evasion versus these two physical... Look at these carries doing nothing to each other. Like, the Razor and Lifestealer, they only right click, so they can't kill Brew even in the avalanche of the stun. And so if it gets close, you Brew Split and then you get away. And this allows him to just play on his own all the time, farming up tons, pushing lanes, like going in first on these fights to get the vision they need. And you can't like, oh guys, go on the Brewmaster, we're all missing. Oh, yeah, it doesn't feel good at all, but you kind of have to because he's the one in the front.
Yeah, and Mira's also picked up a Lotus Orb now, which is so good at helping keep these other heroes alive. So it's going to be even more difficult to get on top of Collapse. The Pipe, the Lotus Orb, obviously Pipe, not dispellable still, right? As one of the few aura activatables that is not dispellable, like the barrier.
No, I think it should be.
Is it? No, can't remember. Oh, maybe it's the Crimson. It's either Crimson Guard. That might be. I can't remember. One of them's not dispellable.
Let me think. I think they should be. I guess we'll see.
We're going to see a smoke up here from Xtreme. Aghanim Scepter finished up on Ame. They get on top of Laurel again. There's going to be the Nullifier out. The Snowball to save him. He got the BKB as well. He can start laying into these heroes as Yadaro on the backside just going to start dumping in. They lose the Tusk. They're trying to get XXS out, but the Gale Force just pulls him right back in. The disarm, keeping Laurel at bay as Ame with another disarm, trying to chase him down. The Radiance is going to burn. He's got the kill. On the other side of the fight, it's going to be XM chasing after the Morphling, the waveform away. His BKB now expired. Collapse doing what he can here to try and keep this fight alive for his team, but currently down a hero. Xingqiu in a really good spot here. There's going to be the avalanche, the disarm as well. Holding Collapse in place. The nullifier will be plenty. Okay, I was questioning the nullifier originally from DY, but this thing is owning.
Never question the first item nullifier. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely paying off. It took quite a while to get there. Although I suppose Phoenix of all supports, not the slowest farmer, thanks to Fire Spirits. So yeah, finally we're getting to see that value from the nullifier, helping to bridge the gap on like not having MKBs. But it is the next item in the queue for Lifestealer, so he'll be able to deal with this Wind Ranger and this Brewmaster. Yeah, decent snowball to buy some time, but you just couldn't actually get away off of that.
So much of Laurel's time is spent disarmed here, right? His entire BKB disarmed, comes out disarmed again. It is so rough for the Wind Ranger here. It's one of the reasons you see like this Aghanim Scepter Halberd build pretty often on heroes like Lifestealer versus Wind Ranger. The Halberd, of course, on the Centaur. But what I'm saying is like having these multiple forms of disarm makes a huge difference in these fights.
Yeah, there's also evasion from the Sunray, which I constantly forget about. Or is it mischance? What's the proper way to
it's adding
mischance technically. Yeah, so I think everyone clustered up in that mid lane, and there was a pretty good Sunray affecting quite a few heroes.
That's a bottled amplified damage. XM finished up a Lotus or a Lincoln's as well. Okay. Xtreme with a 3K goal lead. I mean, this game has been very even in terms of the net worth and kills. I think it really comes down to kind of who gets the initiation that they want. Like, if they get someone that's not the Centaur, if XXS isn't the one walking into their team and they get like a different kill, potentially DY would be fantastic, which there's going to be the Walrus Punch to jump in, and they got him. The beautiful pickoff as now the chase continues. Question is who they can get. Oh, they actually managed to get the gem. Very nicely done. Stampede is out. Collapse hasn't popped the primal split here to put a stop to that, but Spirit, they have the numbers advantage. They're looking for more. Ward Sentry drop onto the high ground. He's going to put some shards out to try and protect it. Gleipnir does connect XM with that. Manta able to make some space as the vision advantage now for Spirit should force Xtreme away. Dude, that was a sick force, like Mortimer Kisses to snipe that courier with the gem.
That was like 3,000 gold on that because there was a Holy Locket in there too.
Dire are scanning.
See, pretty long Roche spawn, so I think that courier will be up in time and he'll have his items for the Roche fight.
Oh, he's going for the D ward. He's going to do his best to get out, but now you've got to be careful because Xingqiu, he might be forced to BKB. Mortimer Kiss is doing some work. Great Sunray from DY, but now it's XM on the backside trying to just chase down the Morphling. 1v1 head-to-head. He's all alone now, though. Trying to get away. BKB's expired, and they turn it around with a primal split. XM's gonna die. Tusk, he did his job, man. He kept the whole team at bay on the backside and just forced XM to take the fight by himself. Collapse. Now on this front side, still has this brew split running for a moment, but it's like they're just gonna back away.
Yeah, they don't know the Roche spawn. They know it could be up, but it actually is quite a long one. So trying to capitalize on Razor being dead, but he's actually going to get the spawn and they're going to get the fight again, and they might still be waiting.
Radiant are scanning.
It's still so close, man. XM dying there on the Razor is definitely rough, but you can see if he's able to stick onto the Morphling, Yadro can't like play the fight at all.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, I think so. Stealing Rage is really good, but maybe just stealing the Link back so you don't have to worry about that, and then you also Link. Maybe that's better. You can find XXS here.
Really nice jump. He's a tanky boy. Pops
Amazing
but
ice shards.
yeah, Miposhka just trapped him. That was so well done.
Oh, that was
All right, that's a
Morphling
massive
BKB.
pick.
But okay, actually, we've
20
stalled
seconds
enough.
for Roche.
Yeah, 30 more.
Back to hell with a kick on that one.
Man, it really is.
So they
a good
should be able
morph
to get
game.
this.
Like being able to morph into Centaur and get yourself like an extra 2.5 second stun is pretty nuts.
Think of the damage you get with double-edged Conda.
All right, 5 seconds to the Roshan. They are not willing to leave the pit. I don't blame them. It is such an important Roche, knowing that the Centaur is down if they can take it really quickly, which they absolutely can with the tag team. Wind Ranger is not here yet, but will come in, drop the focus fire. Has an arcane rune to boot, so none of these cooldowns are gonna matter. That is it. Aegis and Cheese going the way of Team Spirit. Claps is just jungling. He's what's he farming for right now?
Fun.
Maybe just jungle items. You got a Rattle Cage, I suppose, going for AC
That's
next.
pretty good.
It's a really good Rattle Cage game. Needs a lot of armor. Oh, power shot comes out. Jin Q jumps in, drops the ward sentry, manages to find Mira. That's going to be a nice pick off. If that's all you get, I think it's okay. But still definitely need to push it a little bit here.
Yeah, any pickoff is good when the enemy team has Aegis because sure, you have Aegis, you have Cheese. You don't want to fight 4v5. So
Yeah.
even though you're quote unquote stronger with these items, you still have to wait for the Snapfire, which means there's about 60 seconds for Xtreme Gaming to take this tower, farm up a little bit. They buy themselves more time, whittle down this Aegis.
Dude,
Think
Ame
Spirit's
is
still-
so farmed.
That is true.
I'm just like looking at this hero, and I don't know how he's managed to stay neck and neck with a Morphling, because typically you would fall behind at some point, but he is basically 6 slotted here. Obviously, you can get rid of the armlet, pick up the MKB, or even get rid of the boots. But without a movement speed item, I mean, Sanj and Yasha doesn't really count as enough, right? So probably going to get rid of the armlet, pick up the MKB. Can still consume the axe. Like, he's still got room for growth, which is what's really nice about his build. But the Scotty is sick, allowing him to stick on not only the Morphling, but the Wind Ranger as well.
Through BKB too, which I think is really nice.
Exactly.
I do think he needs this MKB though, because Morphling is working on a butterfly. There's already like so much evasion we've talked about, and it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But when you infest the enemy, you can still miss. So he needs this
I will
MKB
never
to be able to
understand.
reliably kill these heroes.
Maposhka trapping XXS here. Great avalanche out on the backside, but they turn around with a great shackle. Focus fire from Laurel. They get the kill, the disarm a little bit too late from Ame. The gem on the deck, but Lifestealer's in kind of deep. He's going to need some help. Rage not available quite yet. He will turn around with it now. Stampede gets his team in, and Ame's trying to just chase down Mira. A great cookie to the low ground. He's going to have a little bit of space to go for a TP on out. Gleipnir connects. Ame needs help, but he's not going to get it in time. They got him. 95 seconds without a Lifestealer, and Maposhka continuing to trap these heroes on the backside, and this Gale Force as well. Just controlling up Xtreme Gaming as they will just pick them off one at a time. They are so low, but they don't manage to close out anything.
So much chaos in that fight. But I don't think Xtreme Gaming was really together at the start of that. They thought they were taking a smaller fight, ended up in a bigger fight. Yeah, we can see the replay here. So they still got some heroes TPing in, walking in, and by the time they get here, there's your Tiny gone. That is a big amount of the initiation, which means now getting an egg is really difficult. So at this point, they're just in... I feel like they're in retreat mode. Like, they were kind of watching, like, can we do anything? But ultimately, no. And I think the egg is a big part of their team fight, and it's just so hard to use this game.
Yeah, you see him just TP out. He's like, yeah, this fight, it's done and dusted,
out,
right?
guys.
There's no way we're turning anything off of like an egg here. And when you're playing into a Snapfire, you have to hit the perfect egg. It's not like you can just like let it rip in a team fight and be like, oh, you know, maybe they run away, but they won't kill it, surely, right? It's like, nah, not when you're playing against the Snapfire. She will just walk up and kill your egg. Avalanche toss out from Jin-Q. Great waller punt from Mkoshka, just trapping him, but a good Wind Waker to safety. The tower's falling quickly thanks to these Brewlings as well as the Morphling. XXX, great stomp onto 2. Mirror the Force Staff Valve. Yaro still plenty tanky. As the Lifestealer's coming back, Collapse will finish up the melee lane of Barracks and walk away. They're trying to chase. Can they do it though? Egg is out. XXS with a stomp doesn't connect. The snowball will get them to safety. They're just disengaging completely. They're all out. You spent so much for this too. 2 lanes of racks with no losses. You still have Aegis and Cheese.
Yeah, Aegis is about to expire, so we can say it's gone, but...
True.
Yeah, you essentially get nothing back, and they took 2 sets. And I mean, it's off that fight, right? They took the first lane totally free.
Yeah.
Half the mid lane was dead by the time everyone's respawned, so you just finish it up and retreat. They probably have like one more fight in them. If Xtreme Gaming loses another fight, they're going to get Mega. These are not the best heroes at dealing with Megas. It's probably GG from there. I won't say definitively because we've seen games go quite long, but they don't get to make very many more mistakes in this game.
Yeah, absolutely not.
I mean, buildings were falling so fast. Brewmaster has that AC with the Brewlings having the bonus damage, or at least one of them, plus
Demolish,
the Morphling.
yeah.
As he was hitting like 400 damage when there were no heroes threatening him, so he just high agility. Shredding buildings, man.
He grabbed the Cinder Brew, applies Fear. This ability is so annoying. So Brewmaster now being level 25, a very low cooldown AoE Fear that he can trigger. Windrun cannot be dispelled now. The level 25 talent picked up from Laurel. Obviously, you love to have the Focus Fire talent, but in a game like this, you need it. All right, they're going to jump on top of Laurel. He gets cookied away, pops the cheese. He's got a Windrun in 1 second, but he's disarmed. They get the chase down. XMM on top of Yarrow as well. Collapse will just pop that Brew Split, do his best to survive. XM just dies. This Morphling is hella strong, man. Ame here standing on top of him. Nullifier's out. Waveform over to the other side. They managed to blow up the Phoenix now as well. Collapse still got so much duration left on this Primal Split.
8,000 HP on this
up. He is trying so hard to bring down this Morphling. The Infest as well. Ame can't do it. He waveforms to safety. Collapse now on the run. The buyback from the Phoenix trying to get back into this fight as Collapse. They finally managed to surround him. The Nullifier necessary to finding this kill. As the Brewmaster should eventually go down, trapped inside the ice shards of his own ally. As Ame, trying his best, will just pop the Infest to guarantee it. Mira now trying to get to safety. And, well, toss back. Avalanche, XXS with the follow-up. They get themselves a massive amount of kills, and that's a dieback on the Snapfire.
That was an amazing fight for Xtreme Gaming. Exactly what they need to keep themselves in this game. Maposhka did ditch that fight, want to look bad. He's been pushing in bottom, so he is buying his team time to respawn. Xtreme probably won't get that much out of this, but yeah, finding that Wind Ranger off the bat, even with the cheese popped, so much damage had been stolen at that point. It was like 4 attacks from the Razor to actually finish her off from there. And Yutoro did try to just man up and fight. He does kill the Razor, but this is when the disarms come out once his BKB is down. He's just sitting around. There were so many double-edged stacks on Centaur. I think you kind of have to steal the... You have to copy Lifestealer just to get the percent HP damage to kill the Centaur.
Yeah, it is so difficult to finish off this, you know, Ame Lifestealer unless you get the Focus Fire onto him, or if Morphling is like not turned into a Razor, right? If Morphling's a Razor, he can actually go ahead and go for the full static link onto Ame and maybe bring him down, but because of just how tanky this hero is innately with his item build as well, it is so difficult. And bottom lane here, they get the kill onto Maposhka. Does one of them have a Mind Breaker? Is that what that was?
Looks like Razor does, yes.
Okay, I was like,
yeah,
I saw the
was,
silence, so yeah, there it is. That's big.
Yeah, Maposhka down here just trying to continue to creep cut. Maybe could have stopped, actually. Most of his teammates are about up, but now they're going to have to wait for him. He does have buyback if he needs to. I don't know if Xtreme Gaming will feel like going up to this high ground tower. Roshan could be up. They don't know it's another minute and 20. I wouldn't be surprised if they just posture for Roche. Unfortunately, they will have to wait for a bit.
I feel like they are really strong with Razor hitting his 25 and the Lifestealer hitting the 25, right? The extra rage duration is pretty big. It allows you to pretty easily just hit a high ground without feeling too threatened. Like, where's the initiation coming from, right? It's the blink walrus punch, right? That is all he has to worry about. So I think Ame feels pretty safe to just hit the tower here and just hope that Roche isn't up. And fortunately for them, it's not. Like, they're just sitting in the Roche pit right now like, come on, baby, where are you? 45 more seconds. Fortification's coming out. Yadaro just AFK. He's like, come on, buddy. Well, it's here soon. I know it.
Yeah, unfortunately for them. I guess they're calling... They're willing to sacrifice one barrack because they only have one lane to get left, and they're going to be in that bottom lane. So they actually don't care if they get raxed, if they have the Aegis and they feel like they can't lose the fight. I hope they commit to it, because at this point, if you leave now and you don't get Roche and you lost your high ground tower, that's very, very sad.
I mean, it's third Roche. It is so critical, and they take it incredibly fast. So it wouldn't surprise me if they stick around. It is going to spawn in 5 seconds. He has a Morph Manta in there, so he will see it. And they are TPing in the rest of the team. So Brewmaster's coming top. You have to go now, because Xtreme's about to hit your high ground. They're going to hear the roar, and that's going to be the green light. You do not have a fortification. See if they can chain stun it long enough to prevent the roar. No, there it is. So they know what's going on. The pings come out. They're like, go to the high ground. Go, 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 go. Ame getting to work. He's got the range barracks, the melee. Not going to die. They get the TPs back. So it ends up being a really good trade for Spirit.
Yeah, I will say the chains, I don't know if it was intentional or not, but the chains done to delay the roar
totally
made Xtreme Gaming think like, oh, they just started. We have a little bit more time. Dies like a second later. So a one set, still nice to get. The ranged one, so honestly, I think it's fine. I know people prefer to get the melee barracks, but at least one is good because it will push your lane out.
Well, it ends up being an ag synth for Laurel now from the Roshan, with his undispellable ult is actually so important now because he can survive these engagements now. Double wind run is a massive win. Oh, they find Q. He does get a toss up into the base though. Maposhka in some trouble here, maybe. Lotus Orb trying to protect him. The cookie to the low ground. Oh, it ends up catching the Centaur. There's going to be the egg down. They've got to focus and bring it to... They do. It's so quick. Well played from Mira. The buyback coming through from the Tusk. It's going to be a dieback on the Phoenix. Mortimer Kiss is coming through, but Yadaro is going to lose his first life. Thanks to this Lifestealer, thanks to XM here on this Razor, but in comes Laurel. The focus fire gets thrown out, but it's going to be Ame just chain stunning him down. Gets a nice disarm, pops the cheese, trying to just chase him, but it's not enough. They forced him out of the base. Spirit now on the run as Collapse ends up getting tossed in. Has the refresher, has a second split, but will he get a chance to use it? He does, just barely at the end here. But these Brewlings are going to start dying really fast. XXS just sitting on 9,000 HP, surviving for so dang long. As they throw the Cyclone out, XM looking for more. A great stomp. They've got the Morphling again. Toss him right back into his allies. He gets another waveform away, but Maposhka trying to survive here on the Tusk as well. The chase from XM is strong, but can they actually get him? It's all on Xingqiu. He has to do it. The blink away. He's doing quite well. These shards blocking off the retreat. He dodges to the left. Force staff, they saw him. They got a glimmer of him for a second. He's going through the trees.
No way, no way.
He's out,
my God.
baby. What an escape.
I can't believe he got out of that. He started at like the top rune, guy. He made it so far. All right, space made.
Well, I mean, they defended.
Really, yeah, they're really putting it in. They are defending the ancient, man. This Razor with the refresher is just doing so much work, and you kind of have to kill him. But he's got Blade Mail BKB, refresh set, has another one. It's really tough. It's really tough to focus this hero down. especially when everything else is going on, and especially when you have to kill the egg first. At this point, Snapfire is not enough. So Morphling spending some time, Wind Ranger spending some time, all hitting the egg. It gives the Razor a few seconds to start stealing damage, get set up with all his huge combo.
Oh, he force stabbed in. Okay, looks like they're actually a little bit afraid. They see Ahmed, they see some other heroes coming through. Laurel needs to be careful. He pops the BKB. There's going to be the shackle off from XM. He ends up getting a shackle off himself. Now the Wind Ranger just turns. They get the Razor. The best case scenario. He's going to have to buy back into this. Tiny falling low. Collapse trying to finish the job. The egg will zone off the rest of Spirit. Tiny, dude, no way. Tiny actually gets out. Jin Q. So well played. If they can keep this Earth Panda close to Ame, he might be able to bring it down, but they do not want to chase without seeing where the rest of Spirit is.
I think that was the first egg we saw complete. I'm not 100% sure, but 53 minutes in, an egg managed to complete.
I think there was one on the high ground defense, like really deep in the base that they just walked away from, but I can't remember. Oh, it was when they were chasing, right? It was when they were chasing out after losing the 2 lanes of barracks. That was the only other one. But even then, it's like, oh, it's so hard. That's a buyback on the Razor. He still had the refresher, so if they take the fight, he could come back in and get a lot of work done, but...
This Centaur is adding an insane amount of damage in. So he's got the shards. Every time he double edge, he gets more strength. So that makes double edge do more. It makes retaliate do more. He has...
Oh, Laurel
is just gone.
Super baited. XXS just stomps on him in 90 seconds with no buyback. Dude, he does so much burst damage on the Centaur. Legitimately.
Yeah.
I feel like most of the death there was Centaur. It was 1,500 of it.
I mean, I'm telling you, this double edge extra damage, Havoc Hammer does damage based on strength. He's got like the dream build. Stampede, Retaliate, Aura, all of it scales off his strength. He's getting healed an insane amount from Phoenix, Sunray. Like, you cannot kill this guy.
Need to be careful of the Tusk Ags. They do have a Lincoln's on the Jin Q, which actually bottom lane, they find Collapse. Uh-oh, this might be 2 in a row. Yules comes out as well. Do they have the chain stuns? The Avalanche is there. Oh boy, some amazing pickoffs now for Xtreme Gaming. Dude, the Avalanche cooldown. He is level 25 on this Tiny. How is he this farmed? I guess it is almost 60 minutes. I should just remember that every game is a 60-minute game.
It's true. That's true. We're getting... All right, I was saying Team Spirit late game looked pretty good, but we're now at that section where... Oh, caught while he's trying to TP out. Only XXS is here, though. Okay, he's fine. That could have been scary.
Ame can just walk to the high ground again. Like, yes, you have to be careful of the kickbacks. But you're down heroes right now, so you might just be baiting yourself into a bad fight. But that is... All right, one melee barracks gone. Maposhka just gets instantly stomped, and that is a dieback. They baited you super hard. And now they just continue the chase. Lara on the bottom side here. Windrun already going. And that is it. 2 lanes of barracks now for Xtreme. Only 1 lane remaining for Mega Creeps. And they should be able to just take this fairly slowly. Well, not like slowly, but they can take their time. They don't have to force it.
Yeah,
they've evened out the
80
game.
seconds. Looks like Tiny is going to drop back to deal with the lane. So maybe they're going to wait for him. Or it's a fake.
Dude, does he have a scythe? I think he has a scythe.
Who, Tiny?
Tiny. It's like,
he's going Arcane Blink.
Mystic. Oh, he's going Arcane Blink. Oh, okay. I mean,
that's pretty
cool
sick.
Item. It's a really good item. I just see Mystic Staff late game. I'm like, it's probably a scythe, right? I don't know. Rage available. We'll just go ahead and finish up the tower here sooner or later. I feel like at this point, it's really easy for Xtreme to chip down this high ground as long as Tusk is not alive. Like, it's really just the kickback that you're worried about.
Yeah, they actually have Lifestealer running up. I actually think they just put Centaur at the edge. Just retaliate Aura this thing down.
Oh, Jinkyu, the avalanche, the toss back, forces Yataro's early BKB. They're going to try and just finish off the Tiny, and they do. Egg is down. They're just going to disengage, but Yataro is completely surrounded. Ame and XM just burn right through him as Collapse trying to find some sort of an opening here for his team. Double Eye of the Storm with a fully built Lifestealer on top of you. I don't think you're going to survive that one. There's no way.
You can go set up for Roche now.
Yeah, 18 instances from Eye of the Storm. You are not going to be sitting on a lot of armor at that point, even as a Morphling, right? Because he's going to be constantly trying to morph strength to not die. So it gets to a point where the more health you have, the more damage you're going to take.
Dire are scanning.
It's like either way, actually, because on one hand, you're high agility, so then, I don't know. As you switch to like strength, the Lifestealer starts doing more, I mean,
yeah.
Like, I don't know. Are you getting tankier when you switch to strength?
Yeah,
or is it actually just easier for Ame to kill you?
That's a really good point. He's got a full Abyssal coming out as now. And we'll see a Satanic as the next queued item here for the Razor. Roshan in 35 seconds. Xtreme Gaming might be able to pick up their first Rosh of the game, which is remarkable that we're 58 minutes in and they have been unable to claim Roshan. But if they get it, it would be huge. An Agsynth, I'm trying to think who you even put it on. I mean, if Razor doesn't have his, that is a game-winning Agsynth.
Yeah, that one could be really good. At this point, we are seeing some Phoenix eggs complete because he has the talent. He's 25. It's not easy to kill the egg anymore as long as he places it in a good spot. So
yeah,
you don't need to give it to him, but that could be a good one. You could also save someone who gets jumped. Roche does spawn. They're going to start on it. Spirit's here, smoked up.
They have pretty aggressive wards placed to try and scout in this rotation. XXX, of course. He's just being the body in the front, gets the quick blink onto the Tusk, does a little bit of damage, actually forced the Aeon Disc out from the Phoenix. The Mortimer, he's trapped on the Centaur. Nullifier is out into that focus fire, but this guy is so damn tanky. Laurel just can't even do it. They force the BKB out of both the cores from Spirit as Ame in pretty deep here. Gets the Abyssal Blade, the Sunray burning through him. He gets the waveform out though. XM now on the chase, trying to stay on top of these heroes, but a great shard block. But Poshka putting a stop to that. XXS goes in, gets another stomp. They're onto the Morphling. Cookie enough for safety. Isn't going to get him out. They want the chase. They get the toss back onto the Tusk. The snowball for a moment has a blink, but he can't get it off in time. He's going to throw for another Yule's, trying to get the safety, but XM gets bursted. The damage from Yataro. They take him down, and that's going to be a dieback. Windranger coming back into this one, trying to TP into the outpost. If Yataro can survive, they're looking quite strong to turn this fight. There's the Razor, though. His buyback comes through. Another buyback from the Morphling. Spirit, if you do not win this fight, you are out. Laurel's falling low and fast. They've isolated him here. That's the dieback that they need. And Yataro now trying to lay into Ame. The Scythe is there. The Cyclone. He gets the Infest off into the Void Panda. And XXS is an immovable object. You will never kill this Centaur, and he knows it. He's ready to chase him down as XM wants to chase himself. The jump on forward, the refresher is out, Mira's gone, and now Yataro trying his best to survive waveform in a couple of seconds. Will he be able to dodge it out? They know he's here somewhere. Sunray, the chase will be never ending. The disarm from the Aghanim Scepter of the Lifestealer as XM really wants to close the gap, but gets away again. Yataro, quite good at kiting this out. Pops the BKB, will go through the gate, but he dies. The damage is overwhelming. A double dieback from the side of Spirit as Collapse is heading back in, trying to cut the waves and push into the enemy base and slow down Xtreme, but it's not going to be enough.
I cannot wait to see the damage and healing numbers at the end. think it was a very long fight, but that all started going on the Centaur, and I think they did like 3,000 to 4,000 damage to him, and it put him at like half health to start all that. That would have been an instant pick off on any other hero, but on Centaur, he's like, yeah, actually we can just keep going. I still have another 4,000 health in the tank, and he's just running at you. He's giving so much vision to his team, popping Shivas like all the time, just stunning people. And he's doing a good chunk of damage because of how much strength he has. I did not realize Centaur in this ultra late game with the items he had.
Does he cancel the blink? Oh, he canceled the TP. You have no collapse for the base defense now. A stampede from XXS getting the job done, and Collapse is just doing his best to cut waves. Top lane. You are mega creeped, as now it's Razor who can get to work on your tier 4s. Maposhka will kick the Tiny into the fountain, but he's got a Wind Waker. The snowball not going to be able to save him. Maposhka's going to die back. It gives time for Laurel. He's back, but Ame Collapse. Okay, he gets the TP out this time. He's back in for the... Oh! He just gets TPs in and dies. He's got a buyback. He's going to be forced to use it. Ame just onto these tier 4s. The creep waves are all cut. They actually have no waves. But does it matter? Actually, can they just bring these tier 4s down anyway? There's going to be the split from Collapse.
Very slowly, but it is happening.
They're trying to keep the Wind Panda back. They need to stay on top of this. The Gale
Creeps are coming in the bottom lane,
causing problems. But yeah, creeps coming through the bottom lane now. Throne's going to be exposed. 4 seconds for the Morphling. Can you bring this down before Yadaro gets back? Ame, he's definitely going to try, and that should do it. Xtreme Gaming take game number 1.
What? Dude, how? Okay. Very, very...